Usually when we think about shortcuts, we picture outsmarting the system. You take a hidden back road to skip a massive traffic jam, save yourself 20 minutes, and feel like an absolute genius.
Right, like finding a secret life hack.
Exactly. But when you apply that same logic to, your ultimate purpose or a long-term vision, that clever little life hack suddenly looks a lot less like a victory and more like a really dangerous trap.
Oh, absolutely. And that tension between the seductive pull of immediate gratification and the grueling patience required for a massive overarching plan is exactly what we're exploring in today's deep dive.
Yeah, we are unpacking a really thought-provoking sermon by Pastor Hughes Kincan. And this is actually based on the daily devotionals of the theologian John MacArthur.
Right, and the core of this analysis really focuses on the Gospel of Matthew, specifically this dramatic scene depicting what is essentially the ultimate test of loyalty.
Yeah, the text describes Satan taking Jesus up to the highest mountain and showing him all the magnificent kingdoms of the world. So Rome, Egypt, Greece, Jerusalem.
All of it.
Right. And the offer is all of this geopolitical power, instantly, just in exchange for worship.
And the mechanism behind this temptation is what makes it so insidious. Because the theology here argues that Jesus was already destined to rule those kingdoms anyway.
Oh, right.
So Satan wasn't just offering wealth, he was offering a way to bypass the suffering. It's the ultimate shortcut, the crown without the cross.
Wow, so the goal was to manipulate Jesus into abandoning God's perfect timing.
Exactly. To just satisfy that immediate desire for resolution.
It's like, imagine a shady billionaire approaching a startup founder who has been sleeping under their desk for years.
Yeah, just grinding.
Right. And the billionaire says, here's a massive, immediate buyout. Just sign the soul of the company over to me right now, and you can skip the grueling years of building this the right way.
And if bypassing those grueling years is the trap, well, the text provides plenty of examples of leaders who fell right into it. To illustrate the psychology of this impatience, the sermon actually brings up Goethe's Faust.
Oh, which took, 60 years to write?
Yeah, a masterpiece that took 60 years. And in it, Faust trades his soul to the devil for youth and power. But the chilling catch is that he loses his soul the exact moment he tries to cling to short-term perfection.
Because he begs the passing moment to stay.
Right, and that desire to freeze a perfect moment or to force a premature outcome, it's a destructive pattern.
Right.
You see the same mechanism of impatience in the biblical figures the sermon analyzes.
Like King Saul, who relentlessly hunted David.
Yeah. Because it wasn't just simple jealousy. Saul had this paranoid inability to tolerate the timeline of his own succession. His ego couldn't handle the waiting period.
So he tries to manufacture his own security through violence.
Exactly. And we see that same fatal flaw with Judas betraying Jesus for a quick financial payout, or King David.
Right, committing adultery with Bathsheba and then orchestrating a murder to hide it.
Yeah, the common thread is this arrogant belief that their own cleverness could cover up their refusal to wait. They basically prioritized immediate control over moral integrity.
So if forcing the outcome leads to disaster, how do you actually survive the waiting period?
Well, the text contrasts those disastrous power grabs with examples of radical submission to timing. A really prime example is the Apostle Paul.
Right, he was incredibly passionate about preaching in Asia and completely ready to go.
But the text notes that the Spirit of Jesus stopped him, and rather than trying to force his way through that roadblock, Paul yields.
He just pivots his entire strategy.
Yeah, he heads west to Macedonia instead. And by accepting that closed door, the narrative shows him effectively opening up the entire Western world and Europe to the gospel.
Okay, I have to push back a little here, though.
Sure.
It's easy to celebrate yielding when it ends with opening up a whole continent. But the sermon also points to Moses. Here's a man who hits 120 years old, standing on Mount Nebo.
Right.
He's worked his entire life to lead his people. And the text says he is only allowed to see the promised land. He never actually gets to enter it.
Yeah, it's a tough ending.
If you're the listener working tirelessly toward a major life goal, doesn't Moses' fate feel incredibly unfair?
It absolutely conflicts with our modern sensibilities about, earning a reward. But the Source takes a very firm stance on this. Demanding fairness or complaining about the final outcome is actually viewed as an arrogant overstep.
Wait, really?
Yeah. The central theology argues that true peace is found in accepting the ultimate plan. The text compares Moses' quiet submission to Paul accepting his thorn in the flesh, which was this chronic, unexplained physical suffering he endured without protest.
So the submission itself is the victory.
Exactly.
It's a harsh reality check. Whenever we feel our own ego or ambition pushing us to force an outcome, whether that's like rushing a promotion at work or forcing a timeline in a relationship, we risk sacrificing the overarching plan for a quick fix.
Because relying on your own cleverness to bypass a necessary waiting period usually costs far more than you ever intended to pay.
Which brings us right back to those backroad shortcuts we love so much. Sometimes the traffic jam is the point. So leave today with this thought. Think about a major roadblock or delay you are facing in your life right now. What if that frustrating pause isn't a penalty at all, but a vital pivot designed to protect you from a shortcut you aren't meant to take?